Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's weekend frivolity. This is our fun little show.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, look at that.
To...
I got it loaded up on YouTube. First crack. So that was kind of cool. Took a nice weekend a bit off there. Geez, sure was nice. Totally disconnected. And it looks like market's relatively happy. I saw there was a few banging out doubles trades that were filled in my absence through the week. So that was kind of nice to see. Nice to come back to. And also, too, when I came back into the lounge, it was really nice to see they were just chit-chatting away. And from what I understand, great videos were produced through the past week. So super stoked about all that for you guys, site members. I suppose we're in kind of hiatus period right now. The school term finished about a week or so ago. I left giving the level 3ers exams. And if I understand, level 2ers working away. You got any questions? I do understand there were a couple, and it always happens. Oh, well, I really wanted to do well, but unfortunately I didn't do so hot on the exam. What should I do now? So if you feel like reaching out to me, we'll figure out a strategy that works best for you, and what's going to sort of support you, set you up for success going forward. I did see a message or two from a couple level 3ers about links not working and stuff, so I am back now. There is one person that specifically asked. I hope in my absence you were taken care of. But if not, it's just a week. If you're in the level 3 program, you're an OGer. And there's not like there's a hurry to write that exam. It's just a question of, do you want your veteran tag? Which actually, it's kind of like achievement unlocked. A lot of people get super stoked about that. And of course, it puts you in high esteem when interacting with the rest of the community. It is the middle of summer, the dog days of August. Should be, if anything, it should be kind of a fun, frivolous time in the market. Shouldn't be too stressful. Hopefully a lot of the sort of angst and nail biting you did buying against the bottom ends of ranges over the past month or two, if you are an altcoin kind of person, you're starting to get paid. So fantastic to see. I even, one of my students, actually now a veteran on the site, I saw her posting, banging, "Hey, it finally got filled on this goddamn sell order. Gee, rah, 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 rah." This morning. So I thought that was absolutely great. She is now officially a gnarly trader and selling into the public euphoria as prices get bid up here, which is what you have to do as a professional. You gotta, how does the saying go? Buying when they're crying, and if you could have done that all through this sort of crypto winter, I know it was damn difficult. And, the worst part about it is the exchanges themselves didn't make it any easier. But having said that, we all understand if you're going to buy an altcoin, you better know what you're getting involved in. This is absolutely the most speculative possible space you could possibly participate in the world of capitalism. This is even more speculative than crazy things like bulletin board stocks. At least in the bulletin board stocks on their literature, they'll tell you right to your face that they don't have any legal obligation to tell you the truth. In crypto, they'll tell you to your face, "Oh, no, trust us. Oh, yeah, no, you can trust us. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely." Terrible. But anyway, that's capitalism. Get used to it. You want to play in this space? Get used to it. We always used to joke, especially in the futures trading industry, a little bit of regulation isn't such a bad thing. In fact, when they brought a little bit of regulation into the stock market, guys like Jesse Livermore, who absolutely killed the public and completely raped them, he actually ended up committing suicide because the fun of fucking the public over was gone. So sad. But anyway, it is what it is. I think probably the most important thing here is to take a very, very lighthearted approach to participating in the capitalist markets. That's super, super important. And one of the ways, of course, you do that is through appropriate risk management. I think it's best, and it sure makes it easiest to keep playing this game year in, year out, decade in, decade out, if you just don't take too much risk on any one bet. I see a lot of people, in fact, God, I saw one guy say that he just plunked 7 figures into Bitcoin. Okay, you can do it, but I'm telling you, I mean, I suppose if his balance sheet is, 9 figures? Okay, well, I could live with 7 figures thrown into an idea. I'll tell you, if my balance sheet was 9 figures, I don't even think I'd even bother participating in trading. It's just a waste of time. But we're here for all of those who have very small balance sheets, and we want to turn those small balance sheets into big balance sheets, right? 100x, all in. Yeah, well. I actually am starting on the dashboard here, and public rant. I suppose. You guys all remember that my number one purpose here is to try and impart some value. Hey, I never heard that before. Hey, that's kind of a rational idea. Maybe I'll think about incorporating that kind of thinking into my next investment idea I'm considering. That's the way I like to approach this. Think of edutainment, that kind of stuff. I don't think it's even healthy for you sadly, I don't think it's healthy for anybody to really just blindly take outsiders' advice, but people do. If the idea works, then the person's a genius, love you, and they end up throwing more money at them. In fact, there's a really great scene. I can't remember what the actor's name is. He's the guy that does the Lincoln commercials, and he's such a badass dude. He was like, anyway, in that Wolf of Wall Street movie, I think it is, where he has his 3 martini lunch with the young guy. And he tells him about the game of capitalism and the way as a broker you build your book and you become more and more wealthy. As a broker, of course, is you pitch them one idea, and that if that idea works, they take the whole damn schleel, but they also add more to the next idea. Well, hey, you put 10 G's into the idea last time, and look, I made you 20, 30 G's, whatever. And now let's maybe do 100 this go round, right? And it's just, that's how you build them up. And then, of course, the economic cycle ends, the whole market collapses, and the guy is broke. And, as a broker, I saw this, man. I used to have one client who drove me nuts. Oh, God, Bill Thuvison. I don't even know whether he's still alive or now. The captain. He used to always say, you can never have too much of a good thing. Well, terrible thinking. Terrible, terrible thinking. Anyway, what I really try to do at TRI, and when I'm sort of teaching people, is to get rid of that thinking. That is the capitalist machine. We don't want to be sort of chewed up by the capitalist machine. And ironically enough, what we actually want to do is we want to try and think like institutional players. No, we won't touch that kind of stuff. Mr. Meow, what are they doing to you in Ottawa? Making horrible drug references. Anyway, it's often nice to see Mr. Meow. Mr. Meow must have missed me. He's on the call here today. Anyway. You want to give the audience a big old public loving meow to let them know?
Yeah, I'll give you one. Meow.
There you go. Thank you, sir. all long time listeners and actual crypto fans, especially D-Control people, anyone in the Vancouver audience, you'll know who that is. And he still has the same shorts on. Anyway, so I like to have fun with these broadcasts. I like to to try and impart some information, but make no mistake about it. Frankly, actually, I guess about 2.5 years ago, I actually wanted to walk away from the entire capitalist market entirely. And what you see happening right now is exactly why. It's incredibly bumpy, incredibly emotional. Usually it ends in heartbreak and tears. But I'll tell you, I think that there's an interesting sort of spin to this particular cycle, in that the people at the helm have discovered that they can manipulate the quantity of U.S. dollars in circulation as a way to solve their problems. And this is something that hasn't been really played with or tinkered with in at least 100, 200 years. Well, I'll say 100. 100 years ago, let's say the latter part of the 19th century, early part of the 20th century, there was a conviction by the Western world to not dilute their currency, that the actual supply of money in the marketplace was sacred. To hell with that, though. Out the window, all that goes. And if you've watched any of my past videos, ironically enough, if you actually take into account the dilution of the currency base, actually we're right on course. We're actually doing everything that we normally should through this particular part of the cycle. The only problem here, though, is Joe Sixpack is just getting squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. One might argue that that's a function of the end of the age of communism and international socialism, and maybe we have to return to more of sort of like Dickinsonian type economies. Mr. Scrooge, those kind of economies. That could very easily be the case. It'd be a sad commentary on humanity. You can imagine if well, we don't need to get into socialist rhetoric here. Point of matter here is very, very tough economic times. The higher-ups have decided to manipulate the currency base to try and solve the problems. And frankly speaking, I think they've gotten away with it. And I think that you've heard the term Japanification. I think that basically is our new norm. We were at the end of a very long business cycle anyway. It was like 11 years in duration, historically one of the longest. So we were due for a cycle correction. So in essence, we are going through all the very normal, washing out, if you will. And the sad part, the worst part about the end of economic cycles is at the end of the cycle, the public is feeling the most wealthy. Hey, we're just getting our head above water. Hey, we're just getting ahead. Hey, maybe we'll go and join the house flipping gang, right? We got a little bit of money because everybody's making money in that. And then, wham! And same thing in the stock market, right? Just as I told you, like the Fakezi story in the stock market, right? Ironically enough, if you want to take the market down really hard, what do you actually do? You take it up. Get all the public long, right? Same thing that happened in Bitcoin in 2017. Exactly the same. And then take it down into reload zones, and that's actually where you want to be a buyer. Which is really interesting, because if you look at the Bitcoin chart, maybe that's a good segue for us here. If you look at the Bitcoin chart, that's, the irony of it all is that, the Rothschilds and all them came out right through here and said that they were loading up at about $1,000, $1,500, something like that. And so one might argue that that's sort of your institutional fingerprint. Talk about institutions. You don't get much bigger than that. So usually what markets do, of course, is they'll run up and the public comes in, buys up top. This was an especially nasty cycle, too, because the venture capital part of the market, the altcoin market, it also went face ripping up. So you can almost think of the altcoins as almost like 10x proxy on this. So when this thing's bull died, the altcoin market, it died relative to Bitcoin, actually, which is this chart. And we were just looking at these charts earlier today. So on top of the fact, because keep in mind, these are priced in Bitcoins, on top of the fact that Bitcoin ran up and topped out, but all of the altcoins that ran up relative to Bitcoin, they also had to get washed out. So anybody who participated in the venture capital part of the market, they got especially destroyed. And this should be such a great capitalism lesson for everybody. Same thing happened through the dot-com boom. When the market ran up, NASDAQ ran up, all like Intel, Microsoft, all them, the big players at that point, Dell, Qualcomm, right, all them. All the pieces of crap, right, the Russell 2000 kind of stocks, they all went zooming up. When the NASDAQ broke, things like Amazon and stuff came back down to $10 a share. Well, that's kind of exactly the same thing as like Ethereum coming back down to $100-200 a share. So probably the historical similarities are going to be shocking. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that this is an image we haven't seen for quite some time. In fact, I would make an argument the last time we saw an image that actually looks like this, higher highs and higher lows, was on things like weekly charts, was actually way back here. When all of this stuff was just a twinkle in Mama Bitcoin's eyes, right? Was when did Ethereum officially get launched? Yeah, it was somewhere around here. Anyway, the only difference I actually found about this cycle versus last cycle was, here was our eventual bottom. And I think this was our halvening, wasn't it? Something around here. Where we had a pre-halvening pump. Then we had a post-halvening. Actually, I think it was even a pre-halvening dump. And then there was sort of an AB equals CD, very sort of natural correction here that set the base for the next bull. I got a sneaky suspicion that we have gone through this phase. I think we're probably right here now. And we never got the ABCD. She just went sideways and decided to turn back up. And remember, the market will do any old damn thing it wants. It's not like it's written in stone. Really, what ends up happening, ironically enough, guys like me, if I keep squawking about okay, I really want, where was it? I think it was this one. Okay, I really want this A, B, C, D, and I want it to come into a nice 50% level, and then when this W comes in, I'm going to buy it. What do you think the odds are that the market will do that? I mean, there's going to be a whole bunch of people that are going to be sitting here that are going to go, okay, well, I'm just going to wait to buy. I'm going to wait to buy. This is, so, a lot of them sort of get put on the sidelines, right? They're sitting there, and you notice, like, through this potential part of the cycle, that was, it was basically right here. Like, I think we had the, I can't remember if it was here or here. I think it was here. But we had the pre-halvening pump, then the dump, and then I was looking for A, B, C, D, and you notice that the market just kept coming down into these levels, and sorry, just too much demand. And the interesting thing is there's just no sellers. So in this particular case, and actually I think I have a better chart for this. That's all this stuff. This particular case, it just seems to me that, yeah, right here. So we had the pre-halvening pump, pre-halvening dump, counter trend rally. We were looking for a further leg here, and the market just said, not really that interested. Just, I don't want to go down. And then also, too, if we remember sort of what the broader market context was here and why did this bottom when it did. So if we think about that for a moment, this kind of makes a lot of sense. In here, sky's falling. Then the U.S. government came out and guaranteed the market. In a few, with this $2 trillion bailout package, and then the Federal Reserve saying we got all the ammunition we want, we can lend you up to, a bazillion, gazillion, trillion dollars, as much money as you'll ever need, right? So that guarantees the floor of the market, right? As Mr. Meow points out too here as well, we had talked lots. I mean, this was just an insane level. Not only from a technical perspective, this was, in fact, actually, this is one of our setups that we like to teach students. Very, very difficult to do. But hunt original market structure and aligning with things like 88.6 Fibonacci levels. If I'm not mistaken, I think actually the guy who does that guy that does the silly videos on the site with that clown Monday to Friday. What's his name? The guy's got a head on his shoulders. The clown who talks. He's just an idiot. Kevin, that's his name. Kevin, Kamarkinator. He did this trade, right? I mean, he's a fucking all-star, man. Anyway, so it shouldn't surprise anybody that he did this trade. But that's just an absolutely insane technical level. But as Mr. Meow points out, we did a lot of sort of fundamental analysis. And down in this area, we could make the argument that, half of the reason why we thought the market came in, the bottom came in at this level, was a cost of production somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000. So if we're getting down into that area, that probably is like quote unquote value. So with all that said, hats off, Kavarkinator. None of you guys, I thought I would have gotten at least one LOL out of you guys. None of you like that joke? I know I'm very self-deprecating, but if I'm not self-deprecating, then some clown on Twitter will be Brian deprecating, or however that goes. Anyway, they always say it's important to stay humble in this game, and don't take anything too seriously. Just have fun at all this, right? Anyway. So, there is your bottom. Now, what's really interesting about this, I'm sure I was talking about something else, but this is so interesting. When we first stopped out and we came back down here, we just sort of comically threw this harmonic study on the background and just kind of said, what if? And I find it absolutely shocking how it sure looks to me like this is exactly what the market wants to do here. This certainly isn't calling things. I'm not predicting anything. Again, we're just having fun, just throwing levels on the charts. If I was a trader guy, which I kind of fancy myself, and I was thinking about where I'd actually like to short Bitcoin, so I got to tell you, I'll be really interested to have a conversation with you up around this 17 G's, it looks like. I don't know whether I feel too comfortable thinking about even stepping in front of this right now. It's there was a huge battle at these old highs. Remember that double top from last year? And it's kind of funny, and I kind of like leaving references. Like we have one site member, Colin, who actually he's like a big analyst over on one of these crypto sites now. So clearly, whatever we taught him seems to have worked. But we kind of joked how, through the dump here, and it's kind of fun to leave these old references back on because, it's kind of interesting how when we were down here, and everybody remember how we were feeling when we were down here. We were looking back at these kind of levels going, oh, geez, I sure wish we could get off. But it's just such a great example. Don't try and predict the future because look at actually what ended up happening after all of that was said and done. Does everybody remember? Wow, we were all stressed. Oh my God, could market get back to 61.8, right? I don't know whether you remember that. It was such a cool conversation. Anyway, point of the matter here is we have worked our way through a hell of a lot of resistance up here. Pressing higher. It's interesting, another site member from way back when, he actually sent me an image of Bitcoin with these expanding don't know, I guess I'll call them trend lines, wedge lines. Not even quite sure. Speed resistance lines. I don't know. And I do see that we are still sort of fighting vigorously at this level here. So I think as it stands right now, if I was looking at the market and I was kind of like, okay, well, what do I think's going to happen here? I would be sort of thinking right now that the market is trying to resolve bullishly through this really thick traffic area on the sort of resistance and zones. Not only did we have, if we think just simple range extension, the market made higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Okay, well, we stopped making higher highs and higher lows. So this is like a range in here. If we break out of that range, there's good old parking garage kind of concept. And you can see how we just slammed right into that. And we just keep running into sellers here. Also, too, you can see we didn't quite hit this 127, but 113 did see a bunch of resistance off of that. And that was actually right up against that trend line as well. And what I found fascinating, of course, was I've been playing with this funny, and actually, you know what I really like now, and actually there's a good example of it, is we can now use all three of our level tools in conjunction to really give you a pretty good idea of levels in the marketplace. So here's such a great analogy, like level oneers, people who just completed level 1. I need for you to be able to see this reload short zone and this range extension parking garage and how they overlap here. And you notice that overlap is above value, but you'll learn about that in level 2 if you decided to move on. I haven't formally incorporated this chaos level thinking and the levels into the education program. I have a funny feeling it's a whole module unto itself, especially when trying to explain Raf and Bobo's 877 levels, which is really cool application of mathematics to this. But I thought it was really interesting. A site member asked me earlier today if I could just do up some levels. Obviously, he's along this EOS and trying to figure out where the hell the damn thing wants to go. And just drawing the reload zone off of that particular range, and then seeing this burst off of the bottom, then nice long consolidation off of that, and then an acceptance higher, so nice range extension. You can see we got reload zone and parking garage lining up nicely here. Could you frame things like 2-to-1 risk-reward setups? I'm going to buy this W. Pretty straightforward stuff. Down, up, down, breakout. Going to risk against this low. And can I see things like 2-to-1 risk-rewards if I take that trade? This is really what... This question is, did I steal this from your playbook or did you steal it from mine? Somebody says, hey, I took that trade, damn it. Oh, that's great. So, there's just and the point that I really wanted to drive home was for level, this is a super important concept, this idea for the level 1 courses. Can you see overlapping reasons for the market to work up into this level? I don't think it's realistic. I like students just to start off by saying, can we even think about a 2-to-1 risk reward on a trade? Fascinating how 2-to-1 actually lines up almost perfectly with that chaos level, eh? Also, too, and it's not like formally taught, but of course we have tons of materials on the site. Go back and review lots of daily briefs and stuff. But if you can start applying these chaos levels, again, I thought this is exactly the same rationale as Bitcoin, and I think that's where I started off on this tangent, where here's the reactionary move down. Obviously, this is your W, so there's a whole pile of energy from this counter trend rally to this low, right, all contained in here. If that's released back to the upside, where does it sort of hit its fruition, or sort of, that ultimate, by the time we get to here, the energy off of this is dissipated. And gee whiz, we got another reason for a level here. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we actually zoomed right in on this. Yep. Gee whiz, what a surprise. There's a price gap sitting right at that level. So, ideally I like for students to have things like 3 unrelated reasons for considering taking a trade. This is really cool. Just levels alone, just trade location. I have pretty damn high confidence this thing's going to hit 408. Anyway, kind of a fun little walkthrough of information. Anyway, so this is the kind of stuff that we post on the site on a daily basis. Anybody watching off the free channel, this is how I'd really love for you to get to the point of seeing the market. And actually, it's not really surprising whatsoever that here we are working our way up into this level. Going back to Bitcoin, we did exactly the same thinking off of this bottom. And it's probably exactly the same price action price range. If this does resolve back bullishly, actually I'll probably go off that high, where are we likely to head to? So, call me crazy, but it's there. Is that a higher high? What's that high? 59.65, 77. 59.90, yep. All right. So, it's kind of funny how I put these kind of crazy tweets out off of these bottoms going, gee whiz, is this really going to happen? And, here we are. Merry Christmas. I mean, remarkable, eh? And what's fascinating, too, is, just looking at that, look how the market has really been undecided here. It's almost like, the move off of the bottom. Hey, there's Colleen. The move off the bottom expressed itself, and now it's building up the energy for the next leg. And I don't know what the exact numbers are going to be, but it looks like if this is it looks like it's probably something like there to there, whatever that high is. Why won't you go up there? It was up there. And then we'll go boom. Let's see where she wants to go. Boom. Alright, let's see what we got here. Wow. 15,565. So just the energy here alone, it's trying to coil up. And if expressed, interesting how we have this this consolidation from this high back down to this low. That energy is 16,295. And lo and behold, off of this entire range, and actually this is so cool, we got ourselves a parking garage. So you can see 200% range extension. Again, level 1ers. Hopefully you're seeing this. Interesting where this harmonic might line up. Interesting. So there's that parking garage, and of course, if this is, and I think this is a bat. I'm not positive. But if it's a bat, then I'm looking for this 88.6, 200%. Within about $500-600. There's an 88.7. There's a chaos level there. I mean, I can make a serious argument for a push up top here. I don't see why not. What has to happen here, of course, to change that thinking is you have to start seeing some market structure failure. And this was a really interesting analogy. I think the market. It sort of alluded to this a bit ago. I think the market here, like in the stock market, And our breadth indicator, it had rolled over here, you see there, in June. And then it had rolled back bullish beginning of July, which seasonally is actually exactly what's supposed to happen. So that's a bit ironic. So, if we go back to there's the beginning of June. How ironic, man! Our fucking that breadth indicator was perfect, right? And then the market, and remember the S&Ps, they all turned up. The whole market breadth turned back up right through here. Damn, that's fucking cool. So the point, I think, is as of this point, remember, this was the pre-halvening pump, pre-halvening dump, counter trend rally. I was sitting here, especially with this move to new highs, I was kind of like, wow, this is weird, especially against these highs. Are they setting a trap? Okay, here comes an M. If they wanted to dump the market, especially through this event right here, they had the green light. This thing was ready to go down. And then this, basically right there, July 1st, right? That window right there, somebody said, no, you go back up. And the whole damn market turned back up. Now, what happened through this event? Federal Reserve came out and said, we are buying corporate bonds. And everyone went, what? You gotta be kidding me. All right, they've guaranteed the market again, and the whole damn market zoomed back up. I do find it interesting that through here, what has the Federal Reserve come out and said they're doing? They actually came out, I think it was about middle of last week, they said we are curtailing our bond purchases. And the whole damn market, I saw the headline, the whole damn market just crapped out. So I don't know whether they came back in and said, all right, we're back in supporting the market. I have no idea. My hunch is that the bankers do not want to be perceived as influencing the election whatsoever. So they are going to do whatever they have to do to make them not a part of this equation. This has to, in their eyes, and really it makes sense from the 1%'s eyes, from the American public's voting standpoint, this has to be a decision between Mr. Republican and Mr. Democrat, and it has had nothing to do with the bankers. That's, I think, historically what I've found 30 years in this game, and then also watching society as a child. That's how I've seen these scenarios play out, and it makes sense, right? Because the bankers don't want to be. The last thing in the world is the bankers want to have the fingers pointed at them after an election as a way to sort of appeal the election results. So, point of the matter here, and it does, in my eyes, make sense, is the bankers are going to do whatever they have to do to make sure that the stock market is relatively happy as they can have it. The economy is relatively happy as they want it. And basically the bankers have said, hey, I'm zero interest rates. You want money, come borrow all the money you want. Once that political event is out of the way, I'm not quite sure what happens after that. I could very easily see following the election, following the either reaffirmation of Mr. Republican or the new Democrat president in the United States, I could see the Fed drop the hammer hard. But into that event, I don't see any reason why they would step in front of the market. The problem that I have here is that it feels as though basically we are face ripping up. And there's nothing really standing in front of the market, so it makes sense why the market is face ripping up. Also, too, if we're thinking about things like Ethereum, my impression was the market was moving higher into a big fundamental event. I think this was it here. Can't remember. The ETH launch of their testnet, the latest version. And for some stupid reason, of course, Brian, typical idiot, I thought this was them actually going live. And actually, this is it. We're making the transition. But this was just a test net. Oh, I took it. What an idiot. So, obviously, that's not going to be it. But I do believe that there was a certain buy the rumor, sell the news on that event. After the event happened, the market had to calm down. Then, the market, as you can all see, while I was away on vacation, my perception was that we were just going to stay in this channel, but you can see actually pretty good looking W. It's kind of, I'm not sure where the low, okay, that is that candle low. So I don't know, maybe something along those lines. That's a tough one. I'm almost inclined just to, well, that's different. Look at that. Woohoo! All right, now I'm just being silly. All right, so all I would simply say is, I guess kind of like Bitcoin, this guy did have a nice little inside bar sell signal. If I'm not mistaken, I think there were some pretty nasty divergences. No divergence here. Bit of a divergence that developed here. If anything, that is one reason why I kind of like the divergence to come in first before the candle signal. So my interpretation, just looking at this, Willie's stupid. I really don't have any reason to be a buyer. There's your divergence. That high. I think this high is higher, is it not? 403.30, 408.83, 415. Oh, wow. Nope, no divergence. 415. All right. So, even now, actually, we're just now actually building this divergence. It's kind of weird. So, there to there. And actually, this is a good example. I think I've told you guys this before. If I was ever using RSI in the past, I would try to look at it in threes. So this first M I would look at as sort of the structural failure of whatever this big push up here is. So I usually give that like 1. And I like to color it sort of like blue or something, so it's pretty easy to see. Then the second structural failure, and if this second structural failure comes in through the 50 line, that's not good. So 50 line looks to be way down here, so I don't think we have to worry too much about that. The way I would interpret this now is if this did come in, this is actually the sell signal, that second M. But if it doesn't come in through the 50 line, then it's sort of like, it's a weak signal. Not really too big. So that's sort of what I would be seeing right now off of this. And this pattern here, this number 2, which I guess would be something along the lines of, whoops, yeah. I'm going to put that over there. This will be fun to watch going forward. 2, something like that. I'll make that yellow. So, should this come in, then it'll mean that the market, and actually you could even make the argument there was a second one that came in here. Really fast, but a sell signal. So, kind of pausey. Yeah, so that came in. Where is it? Oh, well, so it hasn't come in yet here. This little one here, that was on that dump there. Not really that strong, and again, not below the 50 line. So, not really a very powerful signal. So, and here's the 50 line way down here. So, I don't think you have to worry about the market breaking down anytime soon. So, my hunch is this is like the divergence move. So, we go round, then, divergence is in. All right. And then maybe a big M comes in on price, and then kaboom! The sell signal. Ah! So yeah, while I was on vacation, I recharged all my soundbite things. Oh well. So I don't see any failure here. There's no reason for me to think top, but and here you can really see it on MACD. What I see here on Ethereum, yeah, this makes even more sense. So notice the push, especially look at this coil, right? Double bottom, right? Usually this is what happens, drives it crazy. Is MACD will coil up really strong like this. Yeah, I'll put that like that. Yeah. And then it'll break out and you're like, woohoo, this is the bull fucking thing. Ah! And then it'll just come screaming back down the other side. I hate when that happens. But, like I said, starting off this video, the whole point of me doing these videos, I love just talking markets and all this kind of shit, right? But there's something that you can look for. Keep an eye out for this. If you see your MACD histogram coiling up where it has a number of touches, then you get a breakout through the coil. Look for just an absolutely explosive move. But then also understand that usually it comes screaming back down the other side. It's great stuff. Well, like if you were keeping a journal, which you probably should, while watching these videos, that is fantastic information for you. And the weird thing is I even the past week I was just sort of surfing the net and listening to this idiot and that idiot and stuff. I didn't find anybody on the internet that teaches this shit for free. It's weird. This channel should have I watched some idiot play Coin Pusher video game, and he's got 100,000 followers, and all he is he's just recording himself playing the fucking casino game. That's all he does. And he's got hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of likes. Hey, you're the fucking bomb. And all he does is he just records playing a fucking casino game. I can't believe it. So I don't know. Obviously, I'm doing something completely wrong with Google algorithms and all that kind of shit. But I tell you, folks, that's the shit. And he just got it for free. Anyway. Point here, do we have a top in the market here? Not yet. Are we nosebleedy? You better believe it. Could I buy this here? No fucking way. But are we ready to call a top and this is a sell and the trend is down? Nope. It is kind of cool though to see that top develop. Interesting. Those people that have done our education program. You can see the bull is running out of steam here. Something's not right about this volume pattern. So, yeah, really cool. I suppose the question you have to ask yourself is, okay, well, if there's a top, where the hell's the damn top? Interesting how we ran into these chaos levels and it was just a brick wall. I mean, I tell you, I thought we were done. But considering my complete misinterpretation of that fundamental event, does anybody have a date on when that Ethereum mainnet launch is supposed to be? Because whenever the hell that happens, that's probably, maybe you can write in the comments if somebody knows. That's probably what I would be thinking. So, in the short term here, we worked our way through a couple chaos levels. Guess what this creates? Uh-oh. Do we dare? 2 to 3 months. Oh, Jesus. This could go on for a while then. What does this create? Oh, goodness. Here comes some crazy levels. Gonna get lots of those hates on Twitter. Trolls. You're calling $525 on Ethereum? What are you? Crazy? Actually, that's not even really that much. It's another $100 higher. Interesting how that will run up into one of Raf and Bobo's 877 levels. I would have expected we would have seen some traffic here at 200% range extension here, but yeah. So, until this thing does roll over, and there ain't no sign of a top just yet. In fact, it looks like we're making a pretty sweet tail here. I gotta be thinking higher here. And it wouldn't surprise me. I did notice how the market seems to have pivoted. I really do like following these like 20-day windows. Notice, remember we had that conversation about the market was ready to dump here. Everything was in place. That was right at the end of June. And then the whole damn market breadth, right? Remember this? The whole damn market breadth turned there and just went screaming up. Which is fascinating because you can see clearly the market and crypto have completely disconnected here. But maybe this has gone a little too far too fast. Maybe we have to have a nice little check back up here on the broader market. That should be good actually, because I wouldn't be surprised if in the coming week with the uppie in crypto, it basically means that speculative money is still in the space and in the market. So we probably see, a lot of the maybe that Barstool guy is going to get released from that Mara or whatever the hell it was. This was such a great example of TRI. TRI was loading up down here, and then somebody came out into the public who is a pretty popular figure, and the publicly got all excited about the stock here. And it's like, you got to be kidding me. This is crazy. Don't go and buy this here. That's nuts. Versus, what does TRI do? TRI hunts for the W's, and I'll tell you, I'm still long this stock. But bought down in here, sold half on a double, sold another half on a double, sold another half on a double. Got my next sell half on a double working up top here. But if anything, I want this fill to come in so then I know that Mr. Barstool guy, whatever he touts next, is going to bring in a pile of money. But Mr. Barstool guy is exactly that I started off the conversation, institutional players. If you want to take the market down, what do you first do? First, you take it up. So, and you get Mr. Barstools to come in on the long side. So, hopefully you can see the difference between what TRIers do. We think like institutions. We want to buy down markets versus what the public does. They come in and they buy up markets. This was such a great analogy. I don't know whether, Kevin, you're on the call or not, but Kevin, how many X's did you get on this thing? Oh, he's not here. I love throwing.
I'm here, yeah.
Hey, there he is.
It topped out somewhere around 10x.
Oh, it's just somewhere around 10x.
I sold on my, I guess I sold on my third double, so.
Oh, the whole damn thing? You're gone?
No. I still have the rest of my position, but I sold on 3 doubles.
All right, so let's hope Mr. Barstool gets a nice pump higher so we can get what? This would be 20x for you then if we can get a rally up into here, eh?
Yeah.
Right on.
I did see somebody at TRI actually did sell at 10x though.
Well, nothing wrong with that. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the input. But this also, I think also too, this is a great conversation. We as buyers at TRI, we just can't come in on the buy side here. I do see a lot of crypto names, and again, this is such a great analogy. Try and, if you are like surfing the net, you like listening to different characters. There's one gentleman that I really like listening to, but I do understand that some people have kind of said, Brian, be careful there. He has an enthusiastic audience, whatever, and we'll just leave it at that. I think he does excellent research. How you handle your trade ideas, that's entirely up to you and yourself. But I thought this was such a great analogy of TRI and what we do and how we approach the market. And what I'd really like is this kind of thinking that you're going to juxtapose this, good fundamental analysis, because this gentleman was doing his research, Mr. Chico, was doing his research all through here. There's no reason why you could not have participated down in here. I actually tweeted this thing out as it was getting going. We had to, go and watch all the videos from the fall and the winter and the spring. We had a really cool walkthrough of this entire trade from beginning And what I found fascinating, this is such a great analogy of we like to have fun with what we do. So this is what I like to call the parking garage. So, you had some parking garage levels you saw earlier that I put on. You can see how he respected the parking garage level here. And then we resolve through this level. So where do we go to next? Oh, gee whiz, you can see this traffic area right at this parking garage level. That's, 300%. Then I happen to have pi on there as well. Kind of fun number. And then we accepted above this level. So where are we going next? And you can see we just blew right through women's apparel. I guess that makes sense. If this is Chico and Satoshi to screw the women, why do we need to stop there? So they've headed right up to Satoshi's playpen. 500% range extension. And actually, I think this even outdid Dash. I don't think Dash did 500% range extension when we did that story. But what I like to teach people is, this is fun. You can go all in. I don't recommend it just simply because you don't know. This thing might have gone off the board. You just don't know. And then, of course, you're ruined, right? So, take appropriate risk. Have fun with managing your money. And then, in this particular case, what I really like, and this is a classic, we had a strategy last cycle that we ran where we would just simply sell half of the position anytime the price doubled in value. So that way you're always in the trade. And then as the market moves along, you just keep paying yourself over and over and over and over again. I suppose you could have bought, loaded up, and not sold a single coin or whatever the hell these damn things are. And now, of course, you're absolute genius. But did you know that this was going to happen? Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. And if you are saying, well, I'm actually looking for 10x, and that means you can't sell here, and you have to endure this thing coming all the way back down to the bottom. And just like here, this does happen in this space. So the whole principle of selling half on a double is more like, I want to do this for the long term. I want to keep relatively sane. I don't want to overthink this. Keep in mind, if you start going down to hourly charts and trying to outguess these guys, they will always win. And I used to have an old prop trader boss who used to say, if you get to the point where you're actually looking at things like the time and sales, but I don't even think this does time and sales very well, does it? I don't even know what the button is. It's one of these things. Anyway, if you... Oh, I guess down here. There we go. If you're actually... And this doesn't work very well, does it? But I will. If you're actually getting to the point where you're looking at this and trying to make whether I should be buying or selling decisions, oh boy, you've lost all edge. So, I guess the way that I look at it, I like to try and set the public up for as much success as possible right from the get-go. Is, what I liked about Mr. Chico, I think that's his name, very sound fundamental analysis. If you can juxtapose, I really like to buy W's. And then, all right, if this thing's so hot, I'll just keep spoon feeding the market more coins. Keep in mind, this person, if they follow this sell half on a double strategy, they will always be long this name forever, right? Maybe it does like an Amazon, right? Amazon bottomed in 2002, 2003 at $10-15 a share. And technically, if you did this strategy, you'd still be long, probably just a fraction of a share now. Mind you, you can sell fractional shares now too, right? So maybe that's why they did that. I don't know. So anyway, congratulations, Mr. Crypto, or Mr. Chico. Whether it be in the stock market, whether it be in the crypto market, the principles here that we teach, they're universal. Because really what we're teaching here is actually we're teaching human emotion. When you get down to 70-80% off of the top end of the range, the public has lost interest. They're just not interested anymore. That's, of course, when, Uh, institutions buy down markets and sell up markets, and they make a lot of money. Public sells down markets for fear of losing more money and buys up markets, fear of losing out, and they lose money. That is just the way the public acts. I see it universally. There's no change. It scares me, frankly, seeing what's happening in the risk, in the fear assets right now, things like gold, because I can see the public is coming in. The price is going parabolic straight up, and the public is doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And they're coming in and they're buying the top, and the whole damn market will be just insanely bullish. Except the quiet insiders, they will be quietly selling. And when all hell breaks loose, they'll, of course, be long, long gone. That's exactly what I saw happen in crypto in 2017. So you guys all got a really, really good lesson. Now, the good part about crypto is that we are on the other side of this fear-greed cycle. So really, in my eyes, it's a question of can crypto morph into a growth story? And I think this whole sort of Ethereum 2.0 mainnet launch, whenever that is, that's probably your sort of catalyst that kicks off that sort of growth side. It's interesting, from a Bitcoin perspective, it looks to me like they're taking this market up. And I do find it fascinating. But keep in mind, even now, right, at $11,000, $12,000, if I'm not mistaken, the cost of production is about $4,000 or $5,000. So I do find it fascinating that reload zones, even as we speak right now, are sitting basically in this range. My hunch is, heading into this election, heading into the fear cycle, Jupiter-Saturn cross apex, oh boy, this is going to be a mess. Mars is squared all this, which means probably pretty good chance of global, probably regional wars. Has anybody ever seen that funny car that Elon launched a year or two ago? Shouldn't we be getting signals? Shouldn't it be like orbiting around Mars right now? Does anybody know about that? Oh, I was a bit surprised. You would have thought that it would be there by now, because it wasn't supposed to be here for this big event. Like in October of this year, Mars is as close to Earth as it'll be in, like, I don't know, I think it's like 50 years, 100 years, something like that. So we're supposed to be pretty darn close to Mars this fall. Anyway, there was something I was referring to here. Can't remember what it was. And then, of course, we got our next big conjunct event out there in November, right around the election. Oh, boy, what a mess. What the hell was that? Oh, yeah. So what I just simply wanted to say was, remember, we had put this crazy-ass harmonic up here. Now, hopefully all of you saw how quickly they can knock the price of this damn thing down. Same thing again. What I did find interesting was this counter-trend rally was almost exactly 50% of this move. Mr. Gann would be very happy. I thought it was interesting when I looked at those ratios, this move to here, this move up, and again, this was that sort of July 1st. I guess that was that conjunct event, right? Because wasn't there a conjunct right around wasn't there a conjunct right around the end of June, beginning of July? I seem to remember there was one that I was squawking about there. Anyway, there was like 3 of them, right? One in March, one in June and July, and then there's supposed to be another one in November or something. Anyway, so if we do 50% of this down move, I thought it was interesting, the bounce, and then if you actually do just about 50%, it took us right into this consolidation apex, which is interesting because that's just about exactly 50% of that range. So again, I think Mr. Gann's happy. So what does that mean? Big move, 50%. So reaction. big move, 50% reaction. We got another big move coming here. That's a good, what is this, 360? There's probably some sort of mathematical relationship. 363 down to 261. What's the next number in the sequence here? Everybody know how to do that? Can anybody visually see what the sequence is here? 36, maybe like 163? That might make sense. Like ones. Oh, interesting. So that takes us into there. I wonder if it's something like that. You see how that just like gets consecutively smaller? Anyway, if it's some sort of mathematical relationship like that, and then of course here's that U.S. election event. That would imply that this, and I don't know whether it's a Gartley or a bat, but that would imply sort of it looking like that. I don't know. We've seen, Bitcoin can go fucking just straight. And if anything, they always say, right, Bitcoin can't finish a move without it moving straight up. So maybe that's what it's got to look like into that election event. If this is a replication, and I don't think it is, I'm just totally conjecturing here, but if it's a replication of that last one, about 250 bars, then that sort of paints some sort of window up here. And I notice that there's a cute little low to high trend line that comes in here. And there's also this trend line that was established. You notice how the market's kind of respected that. There to there to there. Through here. So that also is up in this area here. If we ultimately peak out there. So I'm kind of thinking, especially 88.6, kind of thinking, come on you, oh well. I should adjust that to 88.6. I can't pick the damn thing up. Somewhere around there. There we go. So I'm kind of thinking somewhere in this window. I'm not exactly sure when. There is the election. I can't imagine this thing's going to stop. My hunch is the election happens. It's going to be, the results are going to be contested. And I wouldn't even be surprised if there's like a window here, especially if you go back and look at the way gold acted in 1980. If I'm not mistaken, I think the price peaked in January. And Bitcoin, I think it peaked in January in 2017. So I wouldn't be surprised if whatever this peak is, it actually comes into the end of the year. And, that's kind of like this, right? Into the end of the year. Oh, maybe we didn't. Did we peak after? Oh, yeah, we did. Okay, my apologies. So Bitcoin here peaked on the 18th. So that would, where would that be? January, December. So that would be in this area here. So, that's what I'm thinking. I got a funny feeling our future looks something along those lines. Now, if we do actually start to top out and break down, first thing I have to do is always ask, where is the first stop target? 38.2s of this entire range. We did hit this massive chaos level, and I don't know whether that's enough to stop. Like I said, I think that's what this is. And the market sort of like I think the best way you can think of this is the market is like reloading here. It doesn't have to come all the way down here. This is a very strong market. And also, too, remember the funny games around that conjunct. The pivot in the broader market, push higher. Like, to me, this looks like A, B, C, D. It looks to me like we want to head up into this area here. But should we break down, we got one low, two lows. When I did up the bot levels, it did not set up for me at all. So there's nothing for me to do here. I'm just sitting here frozen. Should we, we might even pop up top here and crap out here. Like I said, you saw the way that Willie, you can even see here, Willie, where's Willie? There he is. Just ridiculously, stupidly overbought. So I can't even for a moment think about being a buyer here. Interesting how we could pop up top here, which would create our divergence, which we like to see to start signaling signs of correction. Hasn't come in yet though, so I don't think it's done. The burst to new highs would create that. Okay, I've talked enough about the bullish side. I think you get the impression I'm looking higher here. Should this top out, bang, we fail. Key support, and that makes sense. Big fat round number. It's probably up against this level. I think that's like the harmonic trend line. But all these key lows, if you were thinking about trying to catch a falling knife on some sort of, panic dump here right out of the gate through the week, that 9,000, and that would make sense too. 89.48 would be a dip below 9,000. So if you can get filled just below 9,000, that's probably the place to be a buyer. Candle body lows, probably this is like the sick trade location. Right there. So that's all the way down there. 8,500, man, just really ripped their hearts out. And then maybe a nice little oscillation around 38.2 there. So that's definitely on the table. It's definitely there. Because the market is higher time frame, still pointing up, it hasn't broken down yet. You would be taking a bit of flyer coming in. Like I said, I think everything here is still pointing up. But, for those people that can trade lower time frame patterns, you know who you are. You either can or you can't. Don't, bullshit yourself. If you can't, don't do it. I can understand the logic of people coming in against the top end of this range. It does look like the trade's getting a bit old. I think that was your trade. Remember I said candle body levels for trade location. I mean, look at that sick-ass location there, eh? You had to have just balls of steel to step in there, but wow, what a trade. And boom, down she goes. But like I said, this trade's kind of looking a little stale. And I could see, maybe botters, aggressive botters look at this range and see if they can try and hunt some way to get long in here. But we don't really need to go down that road here for you guys. What is this? This is Bitcoin. A Bitcoin! So, balanced market's pretty happy. Looking over at the little ones while I was gone, it was really nice to see Phil's coming in. I'm not even working, and my money's working for me. Great job. Way to go. So this algo rand, we talked lots and lots about. In fact, actually, I wanted to do this as a demonstration for everybody. So I might even go and find the old video. See, I make reference to it. But what a great... I mean, this is everything that we teach. All the people... Hey, there's a bunch of people over there. Hey, YouTubers. Nate97. Daniel. Bill Hazelton. Fazol. Vincent. Chico! His name is Tyler. I know, but it's so much fun just to play stupid and go, what's his name? Mr. Chico? Mr. Crypto? And then that way you absolutely know there is no connection with me and any of these crypto personalities. Anyway, the great part about this, guys, is that there isn't really anything new that's being disseminated here. This is you get people over on YouTube. Some of you people watch this a lot, right? Whoa, now you can get to Mars in 4 to 6 months. Thank you, Omar. This is a really simple demonstration of looking at things like 52-week ranges, hunting W's, even reload zones of W's. I think for the purposes of this, we just strapped on some at the W level. I can't remember exactly what the matrix of the trade was. But I did see across the wire, came across a fill, sold half on a double. So, perfect example of what we do, and it's typical of this kind of market. Summer is usually pretty friendly to crypto. Whether I had any others that popped off double-wise. I think there was one or two. There was one Ambrosia that came pretty close to a double for me. I did see quite a few people that I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't been that active in the altcoin market this year. This is a fun setup. Actually, there's a few of them. Look at this great one that we showed you a while ago. This icon. So fantastic analogy of just trade your setup, still just working away, doing its thing. New little W came in there. That would have been a sick little entry. And there you got 1, 2, 3, 4 solid. Well, that's pretty good. Anyway, so this was an example of a clothesline because the candle bodies or the wicks themselves were just unruly. So yeah, so there you go, something like that. Yeah, it's just working away, doing its thing. Made a new closing high there. That's awfully bullish. I think I remember talking to you guys about this Digi before. Digi's always a sentimental favorite. So you can see how it's just working away, doing its thing. Great example of just trade setups. Crypto just doing its thing. Picked up a bit of that Dash recently. I don't know what it's doing. Do I have it on the screen here? I thought I did. Nope. You know, I was actually surprised that I saw even Mr. Wonderful is starting to perk up here. So a while ago, I suppose there's the original double bottom. Probably could have reload zoned this. Watch what happens. I don't know whether the person who asked about this, I think you were on YouTube. But hopefully you can see how this works. Aha! So, reload zone. Original market structure W. Look at that beautiful W. Couldn't even go off clotheslines. Look at that. Right off 78.6. This actually is what we call the shark setup on TRI. Suppose you could have gotten your 88.6, the leprechaun setup fill there. Now, we've gone beyond 66, so can't really call this a bot. I would probably just... I think probably, especially if the whole damn crypto market just launches higher here. Something like that's probably a realistic objective. My hunch is this is probably like 113 of this range or something. So, I don't know, you got a little W there. If you like the guy, he's not really my bag of tea. But I suppose it's kind of risky, but let's see. Could look at something like that. It is technically in the reload zone, so it's not a terrible trade location. And then you might also say, well, this is a trendline breakout setup, which I'm a big fan of. And so I get my trendline break. I think this is when this person asked us about this, and I was kind of like, I don't know, man. So trend line's been broken. Hunt first W on the other side of the trend line, and there it is. So that bad boy's working. Again, like I said, probably not my kind of trade because I don't really like the person. And I gotta have warm and fuzzies when I'm interacting with somebody. Did notice we talked recently about this expanse. This is a really good example of the pieces of crap are now starting to come alive. Finally! And, I probably would have loaded up a lot more, except for sites like Trex were just sort of like, well, are we going to kill your coin? Psych. No, we're not. Oh, yeah, we are. No, we're not. Oh, yeah, we are. So, in the face of that, I kind of lost interest in this space. But, it is what it is. Like I said, did pick up a few names that I thought would survive. Here's a really good example where, gee whiz, it's so typical crypto, right? You get the big FU tail. If you can get filled in there, awesome. That's these kind of people. You could even do and again, like I said, I don't even know if these guys were going to even survive or not. So it's not like I was even aggressive. But look at that, right? Well, you didn't even get that good a level here. Yeah. So you did get Mountain Man tag there. That would have been tough. Do like this W right down in here. That's beautiful. Right down in there. Down, up, down, breakout. And then you had multiple Wyckoff checks. Ooh, and another W coming in off the original bottom. So, you know, if this name was in your wheelhouse and you really like the FA, I think you got lots of justification for taking your shot down here. And ding, 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 ding. You are getting paid. So, there's so many names that look like this. Can any of you actually be interesting to just get feedback from the YouTube audience? Do any of you remember about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, me squawking about altcoins, altcoins, altcoins? Don't look at Bitcoin, look at these damn altcoins. Yeah, I certainly remember going on and on and on about this stuff. Looks like storage is storming higher. Not quite sure what's going on there. Coming into levels. Oh, actually, no, we probably already hit a level there. Oh, coming into profit levels now. So my double level off of here is going to be way up here. Don't be surprised if you see a banging out doubles. Actually, I got to put the tweets out, don't I? I thought I had 1 or 2 others, but not on this screen. I actually killed my screen there while I was gone. I just put everything away. So I'll have to go and find it later. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea of what I'm seeing. And here's just yet another example of this concept. Buy your W's. This one's 2 to 1. I mean, ideally, you didn't really get the best reloads on. That would have been best. But looks like A, B, C, D. Hopefully you're taking some profits. And I noticed like the little ones are just going crazy right now. So just make darn sure, if you do have these things, make darn sure you got sell halves on doubles, workings, and all that. This is from July. So there's that expanse. Ubic! Oh, crazy Ubic. And a cute little W. I still got another bid down here in the 800s, but you can see they went W'd it out. I saw this midweek last week, and I was like, gee whiz, I want to go buy some. But I was like, no, I'm on vacation. Put it away. Don't touch it. So I didn't buy anything last week, but maybe I'll go buy some stuff this week. I tell you, man, there are some. I mean, look at this. This is so textbook. Oh, you got that algo trade, Andrew? Good for you. You know who this is. Everybody get your bib on. Looks like he's getting ready to do something. RVN, I've been noticing this one's perking up recently. Yeah. I mean, beautiful inside bar if you had the balls to pull the trigger on that. But again, with all these, I don't know if Trex is going to delist them. And I heard that Binance is now getting into the delisting business. That's just like, Oh, this Ant. I seem to recall this is another one. I mean, look at this bottom. I mean, it's textbook. Learn this stuff, people. You can all be driving your Lambos now. It's right here. And if you need help in a very structured, very methodical, step-by-step way to get you to the point that the next time this happens, you're all over this shit, well, maybe consider joining our school. I tell you, it's helped a lot of people. And there's no reason why it can't help you as well. Anyway, so, make sure to have your open orders working. In fact, let's go look at the Trex list and see what's going on there. I thought it was kind of interesting. We put $500 into this thing. We've taken 160 US. Holy Jesus, something's moving. 160 US out of it. And even now you can see, I don't know, I don't like to put the account number and stuff on the screen. Well, you can see, even now, this is the crap left over after we took 160 out. Still sitting at about 61 Gs. And that's the garbage. That's all the free stuff just left over. This is my play account. This is officially my play account. Oh, that OMG's taken off here. That looks good. Waves. Yeah, I heard people talking about waves earlier today. I won't repeat the reference, but nonetheless, it was interesting. I don't know, let's look at it. Woohoo! There's a rally. Well, I mean, hopefully all of you guys can see this. W's. And 52-week range. I mean, gee whiz. That's... Oh, no. I guess. Oh, I guess that's summer. Interesting how we switched. We flipped over, so now, 52-week range, ironically enough, 50% level is down here now. But my hunch is they probably want to take it. Oh, what's that right there? Did I see what I thought I saw? I don't know. It's pretty clean price action. No gaps. Well, anyway, probably a really good analogy of what does a turn look like. If you want to take out a screenshot, what do assets? What should they be looking like? If I'm thinking about wanting to buy, right? They should look like this. This is what they need to look like. I'll tell you. When I focus my energy and I only buy shit that looks like this, I make money from trading. It could be a 5-minute chart, could be a 10-minute chart, could be a daily chart. This is a daily chart. This would be like what position traders, maybe even quote unquote investors, they want to be looking at something like that. Even better. Oh man, is there actually, be interested. Anybody who can remember from the pre-December 31st Bitcoin peak, and I used to tell everybody this before, what is it that is investors and Joe Sixpack, this small player, what is it they want to see on price charts? Again, seriously, learn this. Learn. Anybody on YouTube, there's 75 of you over there. Are any of you participating back in 2017 when I told you exactly the same thing? What is it you want to see? I remember telling in first quarter of 2018, of course, that was basically the top, and everybody, of course, that joined up for the school had bought their Bitcoins at plus 15,000, so they were all almost destined for a couple of years of pain, but nonetheless, told them this, time in, time out, exactly the same message. What do you want to see on your chart? Justify you actually investing your hard-earned money. All right, that's good, good golden Berks, but let's make it even easier than that. You can actually make it even easier than that. There you go, Sean. Give that kid a booby prize. Turns out Sean's a girl. Nicely said, Sean. You're the only one who got it. Meows. What are you? Now you're over there too? You're everywhere. You slut, Shane. Notice that wasn't a sex. And Andrea, you're over there too? What are you guys doing to me? You're working both sides of the equation? Sean's a guy. Okay, good. Well, way to go, Sean. You won. Shane's still a slut. So really all I gotta do here is just, well, look at that one. ENG, look at that pretty chart. Pull up a daily chart, start drawing your reload zones. Get on with a bowl and spoon. Make sure to work those sell halves on doubles. Look at that one. That one actually gave you a nice little double. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Holy shit, look at that one. WAN chain. I remember somebody at TRI is really big on. Hey, it's that guy. Good timing, Colin. Isn't this one you're super insanely bullish on? I seem to remember. That would take a very serious altcoin rally, I think. Oh. What's that? Do you guys think we get to the down all the way to the reload zone? Yeah. Yeah, and the irony of it all is if you actually went to the public and you say, here, I got a really cool, really interesting investment idea for you. I mean, I can't attest to the FA here. But this is the same thing as all, the altcoins all through the winter. I was doing these free videos. I really like the altcoins. Altcoins look good. Altcoins look good. But you couldn't really tout a fundamental driver. I don't know. I mean, why was it? Oh, Mana. I think that was another one that just went ape shit recently, didn't it? So Kevin and his crew got off just an absolutely insane win on one of their warrants last week. My screen just blew up. Yeah, this Mana. In fact, actually, there's GWiz. So you can see the weekly W level down in here. But here's another good example. Don't chase this now. You can't buy it now. You want to work your stink bid reload zones. I mean, but what was the fundamental reason? Why did this thing even go up? I'm not even quite sure. Ant. Yeah, that ant. Man, that thing is insane. So, I mean, what the hell's the fundamental justification for that? But anyway, so the point of the matter here is, do you see how, like, this is a weekly price chart, weekly W's, blah, 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 end result. So when we look at something like that one that we just had there a second ago, oh, fuck me. I mean, can you see the future? Oh, so it was just a listing on Binance. That's all it was to get that thing. Ubic is only listed on Trex. What are they going to do to that Ubic thing when they list that thing on Binance? Holy fuck. Somebody write that down. This thing is a total sleeper, and it's only on Trex. So if these guys ever get their act together, you tell me, can you see the future here? Oh, and it wasn't even a listing. It was just an alleged listing. Oh, that's great. But you tell me. I mean, the irony of it all is... Oh, I've talked too much. All right, I think I'll wind the video up here for today. Picture says 1,000 words. Opportunity is now here. Or opportunity is nowhere. I can't tell you how to say that line. Only you can answer that question. But I'll tell you, playing this game an awfully long time, people that are getting themselves ensconced into the crypto universe, I believe they are going to be very well rewarded over the next few years. I don't think there's really any hurry here. The rest of the public is all going nuts right now. Totally unrelated reasons to crypto, why price comes off, which is perfect because that's exactly the time when you want to be investing in, when fundamentally they're solid, but price is coming down because of systemic risk, not unsystemic risk. Get out there and have some fun, right? This whole thing should be fun. I'll tell you, I mean, I might speculate in these kind of things. Nanny nibbles, little old ladies, trade setups. Of course, I'm never going to bet the farm. I suppose those back in the spring and the late winter who did bet the farm, I suppose they can breathe a huge sigh of relief. And their newsletter subscriber list will go skyrocketing through the roof. Remember, I'm an old curmudgeon. I'm already sitting on a pile of money. I don't need to go and give it all back. So I'm one of these slow and steady wins the race kind of guys. And, rising tide lifts all boats. As I showed you there, I mean, I got 50 G's worth of this crap just sitting on the books doing nothing. If this kind of thing, can you imagine that account? Like, most of those things look like this. So what's that account going to look like when this kind of stuff just wakes up again and just comes back to normal, like that little ant like you saw, or like how Ethereum is going, So try not to overthink this stuff. Like I said, we've got a beautiful school that will perfectly align you to participate in the market with a level head and a systematic approach and a solid risk management approach, so you're not like losing sleep at night having your money working in the market. It's worked. We have a fantastic review page. I think we do have a couple stinker reviews, but hey, I know for certain there are going to be people in this world that just do not like Brian Beamish. It happens. Everywhere I go, there's always a few people that just absolutely hate me. So, shit happens. So what? I've shown you a number of concepts through this video right here that you can apply on your own. So hopefully you can feel as though, hey, I got some value out of watching this clown. And PMA for the win, right? We're all here just trying to make a positive difference. I believe that David, our sort of marketing guy at TRI, working with Julian, I believe that they have some sort of promotion coming up here for the fall term. So if you are interested, keep your eyes peeled for those kind of things. Let's have some fun while, we always say, I used to have an old broker buddy of mine who used to always say, make hay while the sun's shining. My hunch is the venture cap part of the stock market's going to be pretty happy crypto-wise. And obviously crypto itself, relatively uppy. So hunt them setups. Don't chase, right? Don't chase. And don't take too much risk on any single idea. Other than that, have yourselves an awesome rest of your day. Wish me luck with the boy this afternoon. He's been in pretty good spirits of late, so off to spend the afternoon with my son. And, of course, we'll see everybody in the lounge first thing in the morning tomorrow when the market opens up for another action-packed episode of As the Stomach Churns. Will Lucy reclaim Brad's love after she betrayed him? Will the good doctor find the prescription that will solve Mary's problems? Will little Joey find his dog who ran away in last week's episode? Who knows, folks? Stay tuned. Only time will tell. Have yourselves a great day. All the best. And, of course, bye for now.